Hey guys, and welcome. We are back again. I know it's been a while since the last video, and let me go ahead and explain that to you guys really quickly why that is. There comes a time in every Husky's life when he has to spread his... We don't have wings, but you know what I mean. So I'm actually working on renovating a house right now, which is consuming a lot of my time. But, you know, the good news is once I'm there, I have a lot more freedom and a lot more time on my hands to record tutorials and also start getting to work on my games and other fun things I want to start doing with you guys. One of the bigger things we're working on right now is doing a game, like, contestant-esque show using Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, which will then carry over into live streams on Twitch. Where, you know, you have the Twitch integration for betting and everything, and it's really fun. We had a blast. I did it with, like, only 8 people, but, oh, it was so fun. They were spawning at enemies trying to kill me, and I'm really bad at the game, so they won. They kicked my ass. But anyways, here we are, Unreal Engine 4, just like you guys asked. I know a few of you were saying, I need more tutorials, so it's like, all right, fine, here we go. I'm good. Let's do this. More tutorials. I could do it. There's just one problem. I forgot where we were. Which is an issue, clearly. So what exactly does that mean? Well, I just went back and I actually deleted the project, so I had to remake it. So if anything's named differently in your projects, take a look here. I recreated, you remember our shooter character? I explained what all these blueprints did. We have the character, which is the shooter character, the game instance, which is that pertinent instance that'll carry. We have the game mode, we have the stats, or the state, which holds all the stats, the HUD, and the controller. So where does that bring us? Well, now we're on episode 2 here. We are going to be creating the look around controls. I'm going to show you how to create controls for every type of look around. We also want to write down exactly, you know, what is our player going to need, right? What do we want them to have? Let's think about that. I'll put it on the screen. We know we want them to be able to look around on a mouse on PC. We know we want them to be able to look around with a touchscreen on a mobile device. And even if you're not doing that, I'm going to show you how to code it in just in case. Also, additionally, we want there to be accelerometer use. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why would you want to use accelerometer on a phone? You wouldn't, but as far as I recall, Oculus Rift and the VR would be compatible with that. I think. I'm not 100% sure. I think it actually counts as actual head tracking, but there are homebrewed solutions that use accelerometers on a phone. For instance, my phone, I can slip into a little VR box, and like you could have your player do that and be able to look around doing that in the game. That's actually a really cool thing. So it would be really cool to do. Right, so let's get started then. The first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to create our enumerators. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, how do we do that? Well, I'm going to show you after this sip of coffee. It's too early for this, but you guys want it, and I'm going to deliver because, hey, that's what I do. So we're going to go ahead and right-click down here in the content browser. Go into Blueprints and go down to Enumeration. Upon clicking that, you're going to get a little thing. I mean, you can pretty much name it whatever you want, but I'm going to name it controlling device, like that. And that's just going to let us see that. So what you do here is you're just going to double click. Actually, you might be able to do it. Nope. You're going to have to double click this and go into your enumerators window here. And this is literally just a list. So we're going to click new, and we're going to name the new enumerator mouse. And then we're going to click new again. You know what? Let's do it 3 times, right? So we got mouse, and then we want to have touch, and finally tilt. Oh, couldn't see that. Tilt. Or more accurately, gyro. Now I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get a gyro later. There's this great place down where I'm renovating this house. It's named Skippy's. Oh my god. They have a king-size gyro. It's freaking huge. Size of my head. Amazing. But enough about that. If you have a Skippy near you, or if you're near that Skippy, you should go there and get one of their gyros. Really good. So we're gonna go ahead and hit save. And we're just going to close this out because we won't be needing this right now. So what are we going to need now, right? Well, we're going to go into our game pay, into our shooter player controller. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and edit this. You can right click edit or just double click it if you want. Now we're going to go into the, event graph right here. So, we're going to need to create some variables. So on the side here, you should see variables. So you want to click new, and we're going to start with current controlling device. Okay. When it's a red dot like such, it means Boolean. And here you can see the colors. This is a byte, integer, float, name. We don't want any of that, right? We want enums. We want enumerators, and we're going to look for controlling device. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to compile this, and now you'll see it gives us the ability to change our default variable. Now this should default to mouse because it was the first enumerator we made. All right, let's add some more variables. The next variable we want to add is mouse. Wow, that is not, I was looking away. Mouse sensitivity. I can't spell, sorry. Min. Like that. And what you probably do is hold shift and control C, because trust me. Create a new variable, mouse sensitivity, and then max. And then create a new variable and do mouse sensitivity current. So these three aren't going to be enumerators. They are going to be floats. So let's go ahead and change these three to floats. And then we're going to want to set default variables. But once again, we can't do that until we compile. So now we're going to compile, go into mouse sensitivity minimum. And this is basically what you want them to be able to set their minimum mouse sensitivity to. Obviously, if you set it to 0, it won't work anymore, so we're going to do 0.1. Now remember, this is fine-tunable to whatever you'd like. Mouse sensitivity max. Okay, 2, because that would be double the regular sensitivity, right? Because you'd assume the default is going to be 1, or the current will be 1. So they'll be able to go all the way back to 0.1, or all the way forward to 2. And once again, these are completely customizable however you want to do them. So we need to create 3 more, but these will be touch sensitivity. So just kind of doing the same thing I did last time. Go ahead and type touch sensitivity. I can spell it this time. Oh my god. We all can't be perfect. Sensitivity min. And then we're just going to go ahead and hold shift and just hold your left arrow. Control C. And then new variable, control V, variable, control V. Oh, well, I can't name it that. And then, whoops. And then do current, go back to this guy, rename max, right? So compile again. Now we could change these. So this is where it's going to get a little interesting. Bear with me here, you'll see why. For the touch sensitivity minimum, okay, we are going to set this to 15. For the touch sensitivity maximum, we are going to set it to 5. And for the touch sensitivity current, we're going to set it to 10. So if you think about it, it's kind of inverted with the touch sensitivity. I could never tell you why, but it works. So how does this work? Well, 5 is actually our maximum and 15 is our minimum. Oh, autosave. So that means our default would be 10 because it's right in between. I know that really doesn't sound like it makes sense, but when you start seeing the way we set up the pins in the code, it will. So now we need to create, that's right, 3 more. Euro, I know it's gyro, but I can't help it. Sensitivity min, and let's go ahead and copy this. New variable, max, new variable, current. And then once again, compile. Now here we go again. These are some more weird numbers, but when you think about this, now you're relying on the movement of a person's head, or their hands are tilting. So these are going to be bigger numbers to multiply by. So we want our minimum to let's be about 20. And then we want our max to be 60. And our middle ground, or our current, will be 40. All right. Now we're going to need some functions. These are always pretty interesting. So how do we do a function? Well, right above here, you'll see function. So if you click plus function, and you type in, let's just do get current controlling device, like that, you'll see it auto spaces every capital. I don't know how it tells, but I guess it's every capital would be my guess. This is going to be a pure function, so you'll check up here on pure. And then we are going to drag off a pin and go with a return node like this. But what we want to do in our return node is we want to have an input. I believe it is. Oh, nope, I lied. An output. There we go. And we want this output to be enumerator controlling device, like such. And then what we want to do is we're going to want to get our current controlling device. So I believe that's control drag. Yep. If you hold control and drag it, and then we'll just connect our pins. So now what this does is this function's going to be called, and we want to know what our controlling device is. And it's going to come into the return node. The return node is what the function outputs. So when you say, hey, what's our controlling device? This return node goes, hey, it's this. So that's why on the return node, we add an output. And what it's going to do is it's basically going to say, hey, let's just name this current controlling device. It's going to say, hey, this is what it is, and read what our current device is, which would be changeable in the options or based on what we're using. So next, we want to set our current control device. So that'll be another function. Click our plus function. We're going to name it set current controlling device, just like that. And as you'll see, ta-da! This will not be a pure function. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this an input. And it will be controlling device. And let's just name it new controlling device. Controlling device, like such. Drag off our pin here, and we're going, you know what, actually, we don't have to drag the pin. We'll go here and do shift and drag off and do set. Alternatively, I think it's alt. Yeah, if you hold alt and drag, shift when you drag off should give you the little pop-up. Actually, I think that pop-up appears anyways. There we go. This, once again, this is done. We now have it to set. So when you call this and you say, hey, you'd be saying like, set current controlling device, gyro. And then what it does is it calls this and it goes, okay, gyro is my input, set, and then, set its gyro. And it knows. All right, one more function here. Well, actually a few more. We're gonna have to do get sensitivity and set sensitivity. So these are gonna be a little more elaborate. So stick with me here, I'll try my best. So we're gonna name this one get sensitivity, which I can now spell. And this one's gonna get kind of crazy, kind of wild, man. Here we go. We're gonna start with a sequence. Or let's start with our inputs, actually. We'll do controlling device, and we'll say which device. So this is basically gonna say, hey, if you're using one of these devices, we're gonna use a switch, which is kind of like a case statement, saying, if you use one of these, use one of it. Well, I mean, It's a switch. If you know anything about coding, you'll know what that is. Switches have cases. If not, just keep watching. I'll explain it to you. We're going to make a Boolean, which is going to say, is this our current device? So current device, question mark. All right. So let's start. We have a sequence. What does a sequence do? Well, let me pull one up. I think I've explained this maybe last time. I know I did one where I've explained these before. Here's a sequence. So this is basically going to run this and then this. So this will always be run first. So what are we going to do here? Well, what we want to do here is we want to check our sensitivities. So we're going to start with a branch. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, is this our controlling device right now? So if the device that we're using right now is the current device, we want to switch up here. We want to do on current, crap. Need to look for it. Yeah. On control. I need to find it. Switch on. Oh, wow, there's a lot in here. Here it is. Switch on controlling device. There we go. So let's go ahead and get. So this is basically saying, hey, is this our current device? Oh, yes, it is. Okay, so this is. So this is our current device. And what it's going to do is it's going to, now that it knows we're on the current device, it's going to read it. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to set oh, you know what? I forgot one of these. Go into variable here and do local sensitivity. I forgot that one. Compile it. You could just leave it at 0. We're going to go ahead and alt drag this out so it's a set. And then we are going to go ahead and control drag out our mouse sensitivity current. Just like that. And then we are going to drag up right there. Now, we're just going to copy and paste this. Just like this a few times. And you know, part of this is making it look pretty. So let's go ahead and like do that. There we go. And then we need our touch sensitivity current. Just like that. And we need our gyro sensitivity current. Just like that. And we're just going to connect these. Just like that. There we go. We're done with that branch. Not too hard, right? I mean, it was pretty bad, but not too bad, right? Okay. So now what? Well, we need to do our next statement. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, we don't. We need to do our false statement. So this is saying, hey, the device we're using right now isn't the right device. So what's it going to do? Well, actually, I'm going to. There we go. You can do this basically. Just copy and paste everything you did right there. And then drag this into false. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this which device, add reroute. I just do this because it looks prettier that way. So you don't have to do this. I just do it because I like to reroute my wires so they go places. And now, boom. So this is basically saying, okay, we need to get the sensitivity. Is it our current device? Yes, it is. Okay, so get the current device. So let's say it's mouse. Okay, mouse. All right. Here we go. Mouse. Okay, takes mouse, stores it. So get sensitivity. And let's say we're calling get sensitivity on tilt while we're using mouse. Okay, so is it our current device? No. All right, we'll go down here. What are we looking for? We're looking for which one? Tilt? Tilt? Oh, touch? Touch? Okay, yeah, or whatever. Touch. Get touch. Done. So what do we do now? We're gonna make an output node, or a return node, just like this, and we're gonna give it an output, and the output is gonna be that local sensitivity. Or we'll just name it sensitivity. Get. So basically, this whole script we just writ up took a long time. Writ's the past tense of wrote, by the way. Take notes of that. This whole thing we just wrote, everything we did here, that was just to basically get our sensitivity of the device we're talking about. Go ahead and compile. And now we have one more, which is a bit smaller, and that's set sensitivity. So let's go ahead and do that one. So go into function, go to new function, and then set sensitivity. Like that. We're going to need 2 inputs. Once again, we're going to go with our enumerators, and we're going to go controlling device. We're going to call it which device. And then we're going to go new input and go new sensitivity. Okay, one day I'll be able to spell that damn word. All right, we're going to switch on controlling device again. So controlling, switch on controlling device. So basically which device automatically goes right here into our selection. And we just need 3 sets. Mouse sensitivity current, touch sensitivity current, and gyro sensitivity current. And I'm going to go ahead and make these set up a little prettier because I'm a loser. And we're going to go ahead and drag mouse to mouse. We're going to drag touch to touch and gyro to gyro. Oh, come on. Gyro to gyro, just like that. And then we're going to bring our new sensitivity down. Once again, I just like to make stuff look pretty, so reroute. Reroute. You know, I believe there's a way to, I probably shouldn't waste your time, but, oh, that deletes. That moves. Oh, I guess there isn't. Huh, weird. Swear there was a way to, automatically make it into a reroute node. And then go up in here, and go right here. And there we go. We have our, you know, I want to drag it. There we go. Now we have our setting sensitivity. And there doesn't need to be a return node for this, because what we're just doing is we're using this function to set whatever our new sensitivity is going to be to these. So go ahead and compile again, and at this point, save. Just go ahead and flip to every screen and save, because sometimes it doesn't like to save everything, or go to File and Save All, which is Control-Shift-S, if you're wondering. I actually opened my console. All right. Well, now what do we need to do? Well, let's start with let's do 1 second. Let's go ahead and let's just set up our axes. We're still setting everything up kind of right here. And this is what I mean. It is a long tutorial, so, you know, got to bear with me here. So yeah, let's set up our axes. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to go into our project settings. If you don't remember how to get here, you just click settings and then project settings. My coffee. You're going to go into engine down here and go to your inputs. We're going to look for bindings, and you're going to look for axis mapping. So we're going to hit a plus here. Oh. Where are you? Oh, there we go. Haha. We're going to call this mouse X. We're going to call this mouse Y. And then we're going to go ahead and set these to mouse and mouse X and mouse Y. However, you want to set your mouse Y scale to -1. Why, you might be asking? This is one of those things that I actually can't tell you. It just works this way. I don't know why. If someone does, by all means, enlighten me. But I couldn't tell you. All right. Oh, wow. Guess what, guys? We're finally ready. We are finally ready to start working in our event graph. We are finally ready to start making your character look around. Isn't that exciting? I think that's exciting. Anyways, let's leave these right now. We don't need a begin player or tick on our character, okay? So let's scroll down here and let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go input axis mouse Y. We want to start there. So you just right click and do input, and then let's type in mouse Y, axis event mouse Y. See? And you want to get the same thing for X. I wonder if we just type mouse X. There it goes. Boom. So let's start with a branch here for true or false. Sorry about that. And we need to check that this is our mouse, because we don't want anything to happen if it's not our mouse, right? That wouldn't make sense. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to hold control and drag this in to get our current controlling device. And we're going to hit equal here. And we're going to make sure that that says mouse and drag that into our condition, just like that. And then we're going to go over here where it says true, drag this off and do add pitch input. Okay, because Y is our pitch. And let's see, we're going to go target self. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our mouse sensitivity current. Drag this off, hit X. Or actually, it might be star. Yeah, there we go. And then do, I believe it is float times float. There we go. And just actually put that on the bottom one. So what are we doing here, right? Let me explain this. We're basically saying, hey, when the mouse's Y is moved, we move our mouse up or down, and that's happening, do me a favor and check. Are we actually using the mouse right now? Okay, we are. So add pitch to our character. So make him look up or down based on what it is. Or you know, adding pitch. If you add negative pitch, it goes down. So take the current sensitivity and multiply the axis value by that and make that our value. So if the sensitivity is 2 and his pitch is going 0 to 10, it's going to go 0 to 20 because it's double the sensitivity. See how that works? Well, here's the cool part. Now we got to do the other one, right? So just highlight these things, not the add pitch, copy and paste them and bring them down. The reason we're not adding the pitch is because X is going to be our yaw. So, add yaw input. There's our mouse control right there. Now here's a simple little thing you can do. Just drag around all of this, right click and do create comment from selection. Call this mouse look control. And the reason I do this is once this starts getting really cluttered, like you've got things just coming out your wazoo while you're working, right? You're going to want to know where your mouse look control was. You're going to be so glad you did this. I like to make my mouse look controls red. Each control gets its own color. Mouse is normally red. Okay, click compile, get it set up. and next one we're going to do is our tilt. So tilt will be controlled by the gyro. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So we do need to make a new variable for this one, and this one's going to be a vector. That'll be a yellow color. See, and we're going to name this last tilt, like that. And just go ahead and compile this. Okay. So let's go ahead and start. So we're going to look in here for an event. We're going to type in tilt. And here's the motion event of tilt. So we're going to take this and we're going to start a branch. And once again, we're going to check that we're using the tilt enumerator. So get enumerator equal. Set this to, right now it says mouse, but we're going to set it to tilt or gyro. Sorry. This is why I keep calling it, now you know why I keep calling it tilt, because the actual event is called tilt. Why I didn't just name all of it tilt, I don't know, don't ask me. So we're going to go into our true here, drag off, and do add pitch input. Now, the thing about tilt is there isn't two separate values, really. The tilt is automatically calculating the vector of the phone, right? So now we're going to just drag off again and go add yaw. And I always do pitch before yaw. I don't know if that actually matters. I've just learned to do pitch. Everyone I see doing this just does it this way. So you know, why fix what ain't broken, right? And then we're just going to go in and we're going to set. Let's type in set last tilt, just like that. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to drag off and do vector times float like this. And then we're going to get our gyro sensitivity current and multiply that. Now we're going to subtract. Subtract vector from vector. Here's how it's going to work. So let me explain what's happening. So we tilt our phone or our device, our gyroscope. It goes, oh, I'm being tilted. All right, are we using that device? We are. Okay, here we go. All right, add in the pitch, add in the yaw, and then set that vector. So what does that mean? Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reroute. I'm going to reroute down like this. So now what happens is we take that vector that we just calculated and we store it. So the next time our phone moves, it compares the last position the phone was in and subtracts the last position that it was in from the new one it's getting, and it determines how our phone is moved. So now we need to use a break vector. What does a break vector do? Well, a break vector breaks up the calculated data. So we want our z-axis, which in a 3D plane, x and y are flat and z is up, which is debatable actually. Some programs use y as up, but Unreal Engine uses z as... No, actually Unreal Engine uses y as up, doesn't it? No, it uses z as up, I was right. So the up and down would be z. So we want to put that into our pitch input, which is all the way back here. Which is why I'm going to move these two things back and then move these three things forward. And then we're going to take our x, which is our yaw, as usual. And we are going to put in our asterisk to get multiply. And we are going to multiply it by a float. And put that into our yaw. Now there's one other thing we need to do. We need to put -1. Why? Oh no. I just always do it and it always works. So I'm sorry I can't actually answer a lot of those questions. All right. Well, that's our tilt controls down. Not too bad, right? Not too painstaking. It was horrible, wasn't it? Once again, highlight, create comment from selection, tilt controls. Wow, I can't spell. Tilt control 1L. Controls. Then we're going to just make this guy like a blue like that. There we go. Now I can find him. And you can also move everything inside of this box, which is really nice to be able to move things around and organize. What's left? Touch controls. Okay. We're going to go over the touch look around controls. Okay. So variable. This will also be a vector because it's going to store the location of the touch on the phone. And we're going to do this kind of in the same way. Last touch. Oh, crap. Last touch. Like that. All right. So right click. We're going to look for input touch. And we're going to go for event. There we go. All right. So what I had to do is I had to go right input space touch and then, well, it's already in, so it might not work. And then if you scroll all the way down, you got just touch. Any kind of touch driver. Oh, here's the Oculus stuff. Anyways, so now we have it in. Ta-da! So let's get started here. We want to go pressed and go into a branch. And we want to go, yeah, so branch like that. Here's what we're going to do. Finger index. And we're going to go equals oh boy. And oop, that's the wrong one, isn't it? Your index equals equal byte? Yeah, equal byte. There we go. And then set that to 0 and put that into our condition. Go from our true out here and grab our set last touch using Alt. Oh, god dang it. There we go. And we're going to use our location here. And what that's going to do is that is going to let us store. Oh no, I didn't want to break you. I'm sorry. Baby, come back. Like that. So that lets us basically say we're storing the last location on touch. So when you touch the phone, it goes, oh, that's the location, and saves it. So when you touch again, or when you release, it'll do the math saying, oh, what happened? All right, so that's just on press. Now on move will be our next thing. I don't even think we'll need to do a release now that I think about it. Yeah, no, we won't, because next time you press, it'll store that last location, so we don't have to even do a release. So let's go ahead and branch. And then once again, I know this is confusing, and I'm so sorry, and man, I am trying my hardest here, but as you guys know, like I said, I've been doing a lot of work, and it's been busy, and, you know, I haven't had time to play with this in a while, and they actually released a few new versions of this since I've done this, so. All right, let's do add yaw input, and add pitch input. This is going to work kind of in the same way as the gyroscope, where we're going to basically, and then let's go over here, set. Last touch. We're going to basically be calculating the difference and inputting them. So it's going to work much in that same way. I'm going to add a reroute node. Add reroute node. There you go. Okay, and then we need to do some math with our location. So let's bring this down here and let's break our vector. So now we can calculate our individual X and Y values. Now, y, x, and y, and the last one was x and z. Well, a gyroscope works in 3 dimensions, whereas just touching your phone screen is 2D. So y is up and down, and x is left and right. Okay, so we need to do a subtraction. And we're going to do float minus float, just like such. And what we're going to do down here is we're going to drag in our get last touch. Or, that's last tilt, sorry. Get our last touch. Right click this, and we're going to go into, oh boy. It is, oh, I forget how to do this. There we go. Split structure pin. You have to right click the little pin, that's why. And this breaks it into our different numbers, which is very useful, as you might imagine. So we need to do one for y now. Subtract float minus float, and add y. There we go. We've got our 2 nodes here. Now we need touch sensitivity current twice. All right. All right, just like that. And let's just bring these back a little bit. And then we're going to do a division. So drag off and put a / and do float divided by float, just like such. Get your touch. Copy and paste this guy down here. Just like that. It is important where the pins go. Make sure the subtracted value is going into the top pin because it's going to divide A by B. As you see if you roll over division A by B. Same thing with this. It's going to subtract A from B. So make sure your break vectors are going into your A's and your last touches are going into your B's. That's also very important. Now we're going to go ahead and we are going to bring the add yaw up here. Right, because that should be our X, and our pitch up here, because that's our Y. And then I'm just going to space these a little bit. I'm also going to bring these guys in. I like to do cleanup like this and make it look pretty. Sure, it might be kind of a waste of time, but, you know, it's nice to practice, you know, clean-looking lines in code. Especially on a blueprint system like this. All right, there we go. And ta-da, we now have our input touch setup. We have been going for quite a while in this, so touch input. So I'm going to go ahead, make sure you compile. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop here. Don't worry though, because I will have another episode coming out very soon. And this new episode will have the how to create a sensitivity menu that we can open and change the sensitivity. So in game, you guys will be able to actually test the game and play with it and change the sensitivities. I think we're looking at about a 45-minute tutorial. I really hope I didn't bore you guys. I'm sorry. I know it's been a long time, but hey, you guys really wanted it, and I just really wanted to get it done for you. So that's the end of this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget, go in, save on all your screens, or just go ahead and hit Control, Shift, and S, and that will save everything in the project, or you do your drop-down Save All. And I'm going to let this save, and I will see you guys next time when we talk about changing sensitivity in the UMGs.